I'm naturally a very funny person, but it was dawning on me, this isn't very funny. I think I was angry when I wrote this. I gotta hold this. Oh, there's people here. I should have put on some makeup. Kent, age 8, Scottsdale, 1971. Come on, I win. She's not messing around. The head film, all of it. I remember my mom dressing me in these fabulous late 60s, early 70s outfits, which were really only appropriate for an adult appearing in a production of The Boys in the Band. But my mom was a huge fag hag, and I loved being fashionable, especially as I got a little older and became a full-fledged teenager, where I would escape into movies like The Poseidon Adventure and all those wonderful, horrible/wonderful movies. Now, if I had to choose one movie that completely changed my life, it would have to be Carrie. I was one of those weirdos. Carrie came out in the summer of 1976 when I was, drum roll please, the tender age of 13. If you haven't already done the math, go ahead. Yes, I'm older than dirt. And once you realize what this story is about, you'll see why I have no problem admitting my real age. I'm proud of that number. Hell, I'm lucky to be alive. Seriously. Because when you can't see a future for yourself, you know. Unless you've been living under a rock or inside a bottle of Absolute for the past year or so, you must have heard about the many young people who've been committing suicide due to severe bullying. Now, I hate that word. To me, that's like referring to rape as severe flirting. These kids were tormented and tortured, not bullied. Now, whether they were actually gay or not does not really matter. The mere fact that they were perceived as gay and therefore less than does. If this can happen today after Will and Grace and Ellen and Rosie and Elton, the Scissor Sisters, Sam Sparrow, RuPaul's Drag Race, Adam Lambert, Clay Aiken, Perez Hilton, Lance Bass, Melissa Etheridge, Jane Lynch, Neil Patrick Harris, and Tim Gunn, Anderson Cooper, Glee, Ugly Betty, Bruno, Modern Family, and the mainstreaming of homosexuality, then we're in big trouble. We are really in big trouble if these kids are still killing themselves, despite the fact that we're all in everybody's living rooms. But back to Carrie. No, because it always comes back to Carrie. Don't make me turn off the fucking lights. Okay, it was a low-budget summer horror movie for teens. Horror movie, I can do this. It was a horror movie made for teens, low budget, came out in the summer, that for me was an emotional roller coaster featuring valleys of sadness and peaks of triumph. The movie is scary and touching and funny and sexy and campy and stunning, but ultimately very sad. If I had to summarize Carrie and why I love it so much in just one sentence, it would have to be its simple message of don't pick on the freak. You see, Carrie White has powers that no one knows about. Amazing powers that she's had to control and hide her entire life. Sound familiar? When she's pushed too far, she uses those powers to exact revenge on her tormentors. Oh, the fantasies I used to have. It's strange, but high school is the only place where the most boring, middle-of-the-road, lowest common denominator idiots rule the kingdom. 5 minutes after graduation, the real people, the so-called freaks, take over while Ken and Barbie go to work at a bank or sell insurance and start having babies and do exactly what is expected of them, which, let's be honest, is very little. Now, the freaks beautify the world. We make people dance, and more importantly, we make people laugh. I would rather die from a flesh-eating virus than attend one of my high school reunions. But I want to catch up with a bunch of boring people I never liked who are on their 3rd marriages and will probably try to sell me Amway. They don't deserve serve me at their reunion. You know what? Cough up some money and maybe we'll talk. I can belt out an obscene song parody that would make them all spit up their boxed wine and choke on their Costco meatballs in some beige banquet room that reeks of Axe body spray and regret. No, thank you. I would not change places with the vapid prom queen or the brain-dead star quarterback for anything. Why the hell would you want to be Kate Gosselin when you could be Kate Blanchett? Screw them all! High school is like a box of rocks. It's so easy to get through it when you're just one of those plain gray pebbles lost among all the others. But imagine a big rock in there. Like 10 times the size of the others, or an iridescent opal with its ethereal rainbow always twinkling, or a diamond. Of course those little pieces of gravel are going to try to chip away at that big rock in an attempt to make it as small and worthless as they are. Of course those plain, nondescript rocks are going to scratch at the opals and the diamonds and make them as dull and lackluster as they are. Any parent or teacher who is not telling young people who are gay, or bisexual, or transgender, or special in any way to shine like the gems they are, has blood on their hands. You are the adults, and you need to love your children more than some archaic book of outdated rules that was written thousands of years ago by a bunch of men, not God, in an attempt to control the unwashed masses. Yes. Religion is notoriously anti-nature, and being gay is natural. And the inability to accept the fundamental biological reality of gay people is the ultimate ignorance and arrogance. It's like spitting in the face of God. And creative, sensitive young people killing themselves is the saddest thing imaginable because of all that lost potential. It's a wasted life. And you know what? So is the life that is lived following a set of arbitrary rules and sitting in judgment and generally making people feel less than, defective, and like they don't have a future, all in the name of an invisible man in the sky. Shame on you. So to the freaks who are struggling right now, I say this: just hold on, your day is coming. High school is not real. These people will mean less than nothing to you before you know it. And if you're one of the tormentors or an authority figure who feigns ignorance and looks the other way, may God have mercy on your soul. I hope that at least one part of the aforementioned famous book of rules is real, because in my opinion, there is a very special place in hell for you. Angry.